Hey, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. Hope you're having a great holiday season, whatever holiday you're celebrating. And speaking of which, let's learn how to play a Hanukkah song, aptly titled Hanukkah. Oh, Hanukkah. And I'm going to play the whole thing. I just kind of came up with this on the fly just before the lesson. It's kind of deviating from the plan. I'm going to do like a fiddleized version of it. Just because I think it'll be fun, and then I'm gonna play the tune and teach it in a more simple manner, just the pure melody, and then maybe do like a follow-up little lesson on how to play the variations I came up with. So I don't know, just bear with me. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm just gonna play it Hanukkah, Hanukkah, fiddle style. There you go. You can fiddleize anything. Maybe most everything. I don't know if you can fiddleize nuclear war, but definitely most music you can. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the... Now I'm going to do a more stripped down, basic version of the tune. And because it's important, whatever variations you add, that they don't take away from what you're doing. They add to it, you know, that you can still hear that melody. That's to me the essence of fiddling, to add variations that still you can still hear what the melody is and hear it clearly. So here's a more stripped down version of the first line. Alright, so now I'm going to do that same line, but break it down for you note by note. With more flow. Okay, so it starts A1 4 times, open E, back to A1, and then D3 to open A, D3. So this is a pretty good beginner level tune, but if you are a beginner, often beginners have trouble going from A to D3. It's a messy string change and it's hard to get the D3 in tune, so you may want to practice that a little bit. Cool, let's loop on this first part because the second line is very similar. So if we get this down, it'll help us throughout the tune. So I'm just going to loop on it. Again. And then you could continue like that on your own. I like to always demonstrate looping because it's such a powerful practice technique, and I hope you all practice with that. You'll get better a lot faster, and once you get the idea of how to make loops, like exercise loops, becomes very fun to practice the technical things that you got to do. Second line, we just have a few less notes. So all it is just two less A1s or one less A1 in the beginning, so it's a long short like a hoedown to E, and then two A1s. And then that's it. So here's the whole second line. Cool, now let's do the third line. With flow. Starts D3, open A1, open, then D3, 2, 3, A, D3, A1. All right, and the singing for this line is, gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. So I encourage you to sing and then play. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. Play. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. And then you play again. So that kind of practice is very powerful too, developing your ear. All right? And I pointed to my head instead of my ear, but there was a reason. That wasn't just a complete accident. Because what I'm more talking about is your inner ear, being able to hear music in your head. If you can do that, it's a process I'm going to be doing a series of lessons on called audiation. So anyway, but singing is really a nice way to cultivate that ability. So now we'll do the fourth line of the tune. With flow. So it starts like the line before it, gather around the table. But there's two D3s. There's a pickup basically. And then there, instead of going back up to A string, we're just going to go D3, 2, 1 to end it. So very similar. The line 4 is very similar to line 3. Line 4 is Sivonum to play with and latkes to eat. So yeah, this version I'm teaching you, it really follows a vocal melody. But I'm a strong believer that if you can play the vocal melody and then you learn a little bit about variation, it's a good way to go. And then you can kind of create based on a simple melody. 2, 3. Okay, so now let's do line 5. With flow. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. So that's gonna go from G2 to A1. Those are both B notes, low B and a high B. And this interval is called an octave. When you have the same notes but separated by I don't know how many semitones that is. I should know, I don't. It's like basically a whole scale. And so you could really spend time practicing G2 to A1 as a warm-up, all right? And in general, finding these key spots, these key 2-note intervals in the tunes is a good idea. So we do that twice. Then the third time we start G2 and go to A1. So we do G2, A1, open 1, low 2, 1, open 1. I'll do that again. Cool, and that's the 5th line of the song. Let's move on to the 6th line. With flow. One for each night they shed a sweet light that reminds us of time long ago. All right. right? And then the last line, the 7th line, is basically the same thing, all right? So all you need to know there is that the ending is different. Instead of going up like to A1, we're gonna go down 3, 2, 1. So the last line will sound like this. One for each night they shed a sweet light and remind us A, D3, D2, D1. And that's the whole song. So yeah, I'm gonna put a link to FiddleHed.com. I'll have a kind of a bonus supplemental lesson, something I'm experimenting with that will have some of the just off the cuff fiddle ideas that I came up with and practice ideas. So check that out. It will be free for trial users for 1 week from publication. So be sure to check it out soon. Okay, thanks folks, so long. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the video. Excellent. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.